We'll pass that end of the meadow later on in the tour. I'll be sure to slow the train down, talk as fast as I can, and point out everyone to you. In the meantime, coming up here to the right of the train, here on the hill, sitting in the shade, you'll see several large, lighter colored deer. There's a male back there with an impressive rack of antlers. Those are our Bactrian deer. Bactrian deer are a subspecies of... Guys, you got to sit down. Come on. Bactrian deer are a subspecies of red deer, although, as you can see, they are not red. They're kind of a pale gray gold in color. Bactrian deer's numbers in the wild were hard to monitor due to unrest in the areas that they call home. But recently, a WCS researcher was able to confirm that Bactrian deer do still exist in the wild in Afghanistan after not being seen for nearly 40 years. Now, we all know that a species that is extinct no longer exists, like the dodo or the dinosaur. The next animal we're going to see was on the verge of extinction. In fact, the Mongolian wild horse, or Przewalski's horse, was extinct in nature, meaning it could only be found in zoos. But the good news is, recently there have been some reintroductions of the Mongolian wild horse to several areas of Mongolia and China, from herds right here in North America and Asian zoos. Dude, you got to get your hands inside the train. Please, guys, come on, second car. Let's get our act together, guys. As we enter the Mongolian wild horse territory, the horses are up here to the right of the train at the top of the hill. We'll catch up with them in just a second. In the meantime, I'm going to hand it off to one of our scientists in the field. It's Jonathan. He's going to tell you a little more about the Mongolian wild horse.
I'm Jonathan Slatt, and I'm the Russia and Northeast Asia coordinator for the Wildlife Conservation Society. I believe that wildlife has a place on this earth, and my job is to find practical solutions that allow people and wildlife to thrive together. Przewalski's horse went extinct in the wild in the 1960s. And on a recent trip to Kazakhstan, I thought about the ongoing and successful efforts in that country to bring these horses back to the Central Asian steppe. The world needs happy stories, to watch the impossible become possible, and to see hope restored. That's what's happening today with Przewalski's horse.
And we got our first animals here in 1902. And to date, we've had over 50 Mongolian wild horse foals born right here at the Bronx Zoo. That's what you want to keep your eyes open for today, folks. There's a foal in the herd. That's a baby horse. She's about 4 months old. As we come around the curve, she's all the way up there at the top of the hill to the right. You'll see she's about half the size of the other horses. Now, you might notice some differences between these horses and the domestic horses you're used to seeing. They got a stockier build, shorter legs, and check out that mane. They got that erect mane. It kind of looks like they are rocking a mohawk. I guess you could say they are genetically awesome. Now we'll have no trouble spotting our next animal, as they are the world's largest wild cattle. I'm talking about our gaur. That's G-A-U-R, gaur, also known as Indian bison. A male gaur can weigh up to 2,000 pounds. That's as much as a small car. He can stand up to 6 feet tall and be up to 10 feet long. With his impressive size and sharp horns, a male gaur can fight off just about anything, even a tiger. Gaur were highlighted on season 3 of the Zoo on Animal Planet, which is available for streaming. Gaur is sitting right here opposite the train, and I'm going to hand it off now to one of our zookeepers. It's Dave. He's going to tell you a little more about our gaur.
Hi, I'm Dave,
Hi, Dave.
A wild animal keeper here in Wild Asia. When the Bronx Zoo received 2 female and 1 male gaur from the San Diego Zoo, it took a couple of introductions before all the animals were comfortable. But after a little bit of time, the 3 new animals fully integrated into the herd, and we have the family that you see today. A family group of gaur can consist of up to 40 individuals and is typically led by an older adult female called the matriarch. Since the 2 females and 1 male have been added to this family, there have been a number of offspring. This is important because gaur are considered to be a vulnerable species, so it's vital to maintain a healthy growing herd here at the zoo.
Interesting note about the gaur, if you've ever seen a can of Red Bull, that's 2 gaur on that can of Red Bull butting their heads together. Now, practicing our scientific observation skills, you might be noticing a noise coming from a concrete jungle rather than an Asian one. It's easy to forget that the Bronx Zoo rests in the heart of an urban environment, but that noise you might be hearing behind the train right now is traffic on the Bronx River Parkway. This large fence opposite the train was put up to block the sound of that traffic for our next animal. Come around this curve and approach the end of the fence, I want to thank, well, almost everyone for their cooperation today. He said it with a smile. But I have to ask everybody to please remain seated. This would be an inconvenient enclosure to fall into, as we are now on the lookout for a tiger. Tiger stripes provide excellent camouflage, so they're often difficult to spot. Even professional researchers will have trouble spotting them in the wild. Tigers are solitary animals that live alone in the wild. That's why you'll only see one of them in this exhibit at a time. He's got all this area to himself, and that's just the way he likes it. And this is our male Amur tiger. This is Anakin. He's in an inconvenient spot right there behind the pool, behind the rocks and the bushes. He's sitting right there. Two types of tigers we have here at the Bronx Zoo, Malayan and Amur. Amur is the larger of the two species, also known as Siberian tiger. Tigers hunt a variety of different animals, but prefer medium-sized deer and wild boar, as do I. A tiger will gorge itself on a fresh kill, eating up to 40 pounds of meat at one time. That's the equivalent of 160 hamburgers in one sitting. After a meal of that size, the tiger will usually not eat again for several days. You can see more tigers here at the Bronx Zoo by visiting Tiger Mountain. Have a good afternoon, Anakin.